Well, evening, guys. What's going on? I should say another dark log from the diary of the griever named John Weaver, which is me. But I got the kitchen light on, so that negates that one. But at this point, gentlemen and ladies and everybody else in between, I've got some stuff in my mind that just can't sleep it off. It's not. And let's get to the little thing here. It's about 6 after 11 o'clock at night, and it's still the 15th of June 2026. I have to get these things date and time indexed. It's just a it's just something I do. What's pissing me off? What's pissing me off is a lot of things that we took for granted, things that we grew up under, things we were taught what was important to us. And it turns out that we got other people trying to twist that around to a point where we don't know what the hell we're doing, or what we believe in, or what we exist as. Case in point, I came across a news article that was out earlier today on MS Now. And apparently one of the anchors over there was talking about it, and she was musing this. Concerning about some uh, polling data on how we feel about our country, how we feel about things right now, and what if do we have on feelings of succession. There have been states out there posting it out there, not just recently, but for years, of how they feel like they can't deal with the United States and whatever kind of administration we have, or regime, if you want to call it that way. At least for the current administration is a regime. And how we feel about splitting the United States into chunks again. How there has been a succession movement about Canada grabbing up some U.S. territory. How the U.S. wanted to grab Canadian territory. They have a field day with the Canadian government over this one. I'll probably send this one over to the Canadian Prime Minister. Where I'm broadcasting is in a bug-infested apartment complex out in Roseman, California. Close to Edwards Air Force Base, which we get all the booms. And I missed the one that got exploded under tarmac. I missed it entirely. Kind of pissed me off about it, too. It did. Because I wish I could have seen it out there. I was busy with my own mental health situations going on. I'm dealing more with my mental and medical instead of dealing with the scholastic records I've got going and been trying to fight like crazy, trying to get them going. And things pile up. Just like garbage piles up, like bills pile up, like experiences and everything else piles up. How the hell am I not supposed to be able to deal with it? Deal with a dog that's driving me crazy. There's all these nice little things out there to put me into a stressed out mood. And then at night, when I'm trying to go to sleep and I'm hearing about what's happening that I already missed, and I'm thinking to myself, Louis Armstrong had it wrong on this one. This isn't a wonderful world. This is a world tearing itself apart, depending on which particular country and which particular situation we got going. Then back to the succession. For, 2 or 3 decades within that time period, I came across news stories. I came across people talking about how they wanted California to break apart in different chunks, different states within the Union. Never did come across. We actually had the bills and ballots, never came across because California is just one state. But there had been arguments that Washington, the state of, and Oregon wanted to secede from the Union. Simply put, that the rest of the country doesn't get them. And they should just go on their own. And it's this one anchor from MS Now have been trying to look at it and cover it in general terms. I want to challenge her on specific terms. when we did go for a succession, there were circumstances happening between the states that had already been established back in the 1800s, and they were still growing. California being the furthest west, and probably on the side of the Union. Texas wanted to be independent. They did not want to join the merry band of secessionists who just wanted the Union to leave them alone. Slavery was an issue. Economics was an issue. Industrial was an issue. Progressiveness was an issue. You name it, they had the issues over back then. And they were willing to kill people over it for about 4 or 5 years. And they did. They tore apart the country. They tore apart their hometowns. Neighbor against neighbor. Family member against family member. Over idea and ideologies that they both shared. And who wanted to control over which. And trying to reconcile them to this point, we hadn't. The Civil War may have been officially over when it came down for the shooting, but the attitude and the anger and the frustration still remains. Just passed on from generation to generation. Didn't matter which particular state and which county. Didn't matter which location. They're passed down from generation to generation through the families who kept the memories alive on this one. And yes, we need to understand the history. We need to understand both sides. So hopefully we can try to avoid this situation. But we've got it in front of us again. It's not about slavery. Unless you want to call slavery from billionaires who actually want slaves, in a way. Low wages, high turnover, it doesn't matter. We got less and less resources happening. We got more and more natural resources that have been saved for future generations to be turned into quick profits. And then we have our ideal country and its philosophy turned into a quickie mart. Just how much do you want for this? How many billions of dollars do you want it for this little piece of state, its ideology, its people, its materials, its voting registration, its thought patterns? How much are you willing to pay for that one? Here's the cash register. Shell out the billions to an asshole who's in office right now that we still had elected. And this is the thing I wish I could tell these people that we just screwed up on. We did this to ourselves. And the first time in 2016 election, we listened to a con man that we should have known better. And he fucked us over. First 2 years, we had a Republican-led Congress and the executive branch. And we had a dubious Supreme Court. Now we know it's beyond dubious for the Supreme Court. They're bought and sold and paid for. At least the conservatives are. I'm not quite sure about the progressives and liberals on the court. And we have our Congress folk bought and sold and complaining about they're not making enough money. At least the Speaker of the House, who got the job several years ago, he got the job, and he's an ass kisser. He's doing all what he can do, and he's screwing people over left and right because he wants more money. It's the godly way. So he's already sold us out. And we are struggling with the consequences of our actions. And then came 2020, Biden came. We were fighting like crazy, trying to keep no wars happening. We wanted to keep the peace, trade partners going. We wanted to keep an economy strong, job markets going up. Wages are still being battled out in Congress on that one. Some states actually did pass laws to increase the wages. The problem is, even in the state of California, when the wages were being increased for at least some of the fast food workers out there, how much of a profit margin did these guys lose? The companies lose. The franchise owners lost. Especially when they built it up to at least $20 an hour. I understand the need. I understood the need completely. But we were dumb enough to vote it in. $7.50 sucks. $8 sucks. $10 really sucks. If it was like $12.50 or maybe $15 to start, that may have been. That could have been negotiated. That could have been worked out. Depending on how much money they were coming into the franchises to continue operations. We lost jobs because of a wage increase. Businesses said no way. They couldn't keep up with the profit margins. They couldn't keep up with the margins, and we had people laid off. Automated. Machines don't make money, except for the company. Some things in California I disagreed with. High-speed railroad. Yeah, other countries got it. Europe's got it. Japan's got it. China's got it. The United States and its rails, we ain't got it. We'd have to rebuild the whole entire infrastructure, wouldn't we? That costs money. Does the railroad industry have it? Or are they making enough money through it? Amtrak was federally funded. Can they still get more federal money out of the government right now? Because everything else is being sucked over for someone's ego trip. The same guy who we voted in November 2024 to screw people over left and right. And he's still grifting. He doesn't care. He's openly doing it. Pissing off enough states out there to really start considering if they actually do want to leave the Union. And the thing is, getting back to the original Civil War, they tried. They fought like hell. With guns in the street. With guns in the parlors. With battlegrounds. Blasting away holes in the ground. Blood consecrating everywhere. And the wounded, the walking dead. The amputees left and right. The shell-shocked. The families and the friends and people who had to survive seeing all this. Writing up letters and books and materials necessary for history not to repeat this stuff. And yet we're going to do it again. This time we got the federal government pushing everything it can, even through the Department of Justice, going after people left and right. Podcasters, they're going after podcasters, independent creators. The billionaires don't give a shit. They want their propaganda to be produced. Meanwhile, there's a hit list on the federal government website of the White House. Media list. These are the people that we have on here that we think are dangerous. They reached a certain level and they're reaching a lot of people, therefore we have to shut them down. Or how about putting governors on the list as targeted? And their families. And harassing them. But this is what we're dealing with, isn't it? Are you wondering if our country is worth fighting for? Yeah, it is. And I really had to get some considerate thought in this damn shit. I was really considering not celebrating the 250th year of my country. My country. The United States of America. Where my ancestors had fought, bled, consecrated the home soil with blood. And yes, this is a country that was growing and had a lot of fits and starts and a lot of people pissed off at it. But they tried to get the common idea of what the nation could be if they were really wanted to work towards this goal. The problem is they weren't. They're still divided about it because they still didn't like what the government was trying to do. Some of the governors were still trying to make their own rules and regulations by acing certain uh, Indian nations out or shutting them down somehow, closing them off. And you can't do that. To the indigenous that were here before us? Are you fucking kidding me? We've got Indian tribes out in California. A lot of them out here. Most you don't even hear about, except for the ones that've got casinos to get money off the people, making their own little way in life. But that's not just being part of America. That's just one little aspect of this country. You want to look at America? You look at yourself in the mirror. You look at the people. You talk to the people what they're trying to do in life. What their ancestors were trying to do. Where and when did they come? Were they born here in the home soil? Or did they actually immigrate in here? And this is the thing that the government that we've got elected into office in November 2024 hates the most. Because they're not white. They're not Christian. Putting a bad spot, bad mark, and sure as hell a bad taste in every people who has faith in the Christian community, in the followers of Christ. And the thing is, in certain sects of the followers of Christ, we don't want to go for retaliation, but we got no choice. I mean, there's always been a choice, but if we're going to be retaliating, we got to mouth. We got to be the mouthpieces. We've got to say and yell if we have to. But the signs out. The thing is, we don't want to go for the violence, as everyone else keeps trying to push. And I know the bullies that we voted in, that gathered more and more bullies, the art of the deal shit. How do you, the gist of the art of the deal, I didn't have to read it. It's a bully handbook. You'll push the little guy and tell you that the little guy is going to push back with a belt upside your face, or he's going to capitulate. And the bully don't like capitulation. Actually, the bullies like capitulation, but they don't like the return trip. Of course, if they were really a bit of a bully at this point over here and think they were really tough, they would fight back. But they would fight back with the masses that they got. More bully boys come in and say, yeah, now we're going to be picking on the small guy because now we've got the arms, we got the firepower, we got the shit going on. And every time I keep seeing this, I'm looking for 1860 to pop up again. I'm looking for the Union and Confederate soldiers coming out of the graves, or at least coming as ghosts, haunting every one of us, warning us what the hell happened and why it happened. But unfortunately, if the science are not learning this, then we're bound to do this shit. And that's the thing also keeps me up at night sometimes. I'm seeing the changes in my world turning into something that I don't like. I'm seeing revolution happening. I'm seeing people with thoughts and ideas are getting sick and tired of being sick and tired of all this crap happening. And the answer is, what's the answers to all of our situation right now? What is the correct answer? You know, we're looking for the correct answer. There is no answer. There is no correct answer. There is no correct way of being a United States citizen. There is no correct way of celebrating this holiday except in the way that you feel. You pissed off at the country? Do you support the country? Do you support the regime? Do you hate the regime? We got polarization happening at this point over here, but if you are, what I hope to God you are, American, I don't care if you got certified or not. I don't care if you got naturalized or not. You took the oath. You pledged allegiance to the flag. You pledged allegiance to everything that we had in the country, good, bad, and everything else. I have no problems with it. But I got a regime that does. Because they want it with their own fucking head games. They want to bring racist white people from another country in the United States while they're pushing out those who've already established. And they still want this race war. They still point the fingers. They still do the hatred. And what do I keep telling you guys? What do I keep telling you guys about the damn hands that I'm doing here? The accuser, the witness. But these assholes are pointing right back at you. Being transparent, accountable, and responsible. And if they can't understand that, if you can't understand it in the United States, you can't understand it in the rest of the world, it's not my problem. It's yours. It's not my problem. Because you don't want it that way. You want everything else going hell in a handbasket. And I hate to tell you guys, but this shit's happening right now. And if we can't get this shit done, then I don't know what the fuck we're going to do. I don't know how to tell the rest of the world about how I feel about this whole situation here. I don't know how the rest of the world is going to look at us right now. We're trying to be something. Our country had been trying to be something for a hell of a long while. And while I'm not looking at the camera right now, I am just trying to get stuff downloaded, transferred, all the nice little computer operations over here, while I'm talking to you guys. This is an amazing country, if we allowed it to be. If we still hold true to the dreams that we have. It's not one massive dream. But if you want to look at it as a portrait of sorts. There are many pictures that could generate a larger picture, the larger picture made of the individual units. And the individual units are made of our dreams, our hopes, our wishes, our efforts, our past, our present, our future. We got a kaleidoscope. But it makes a huge portrait. We're going to shatter that damn thing? Or we're going to be adding to it? That being said,